Hi everyone, Roger here again, and today we're going to go exploring Malm's Pond Trail. And Malm's Pond Trail used to be the access road from town of Toivola to Cleva Road. And now it's like a recreation trail for people who want to go hiking and exploring like we're going to do. So let's go check out Malm's Pond Trail. So at the beginning of Malm's Pond Trail, coming from Villains Road in the town of Toivola here, it looks like it's still drivable, and you could probably drive through here at the quad. And Malm's Pond Trail was drivable up until I was a kid in the 1980s, and then it wasn't maintained since they built the extension to Cleva Road, and it just got washed out here and there, and now it's just a hiking trail, and we're going to go exploring. It's winter right now, so there are no frogs, but in the springtime, maybe I'll come here again and we could go see if there's any frog eggs down in these ditches here. Now, as you can see, the road begins to get a little less traversable by motor vehicle, and the rest of the way is hiking trail. And luckily for today, I brought my gum boots so I could walk in the water. And it's a beautiful day here in Toivola with the sun coming through the trees. Thought it'd be a nice day to go here for a walk and talk. I also came through here recently when there was snow on the ground still, so maybe I'll throw a few of those clips in here as well. Malm's Pond got its name from the Malm family who homesteaded this area back in the early days of Toivola. Now, the wife, Edla Malm, she was a midwife on the island, and I also want to note my dad, Davy Langfist, who I spoke about in a previous video, he was one of Edla Malm's birthings in the Malm sauna on Cleva Road, and so it'd be my uncle, my dad's brother, Leslie Langfist. And I'll talk more about family history and my roots here on the island as I make more videos, because I'm tied in. I'm a fourth generation of the original settlers, so my parents were third generation, so I have to bring up family in order to tell the story and history of the area as we go along. Now, I just came across what looks like it's either a very big dog or we have a wolf on the island. We do have wolves on the island from time to time. It's not very common, but they do come here. I don't see any human tracks with these tracks, so it could very well be a wolf, but who knows? Another little bit of interesting history as I'm walking along Malm's Pond Trail here in regards to wolves is back in the early 1900s when Toivola was first being formed and the early settlers were on the island, the Finnish settlers. The island was overrun with wolves, so they trapped them and hunted them and poisoned the wolves because they were afraid that they would get at the kids. There's a story passed down to me by my family. And so they got rid of the wolves, and then the Finnish settlers, brought the deer and squirrels to Malm Island. And so the local deer population was originally planted here by my ancestors. Those are some big tracks, and they don't seem to have a human accompanying them, so who knows what this is, a dog, a big dog on its own, or maybe we have a wolf here. Alright, so I'm approaching Malm's Pond now, or the trail going down to the pond, and it kind of breaks my heart to hear silence right now, even though I love the silence of the forest. I would like to hear and see a bunch of kids or people down here skating on the pond like it used to happen in this town, but I guess this day and age people are more into their phones and the internet. So anyways, we're on our way down to Malm's Pond now. It's pretty grown in with fallen debris, windfalls and such, and it doesn't look like it's been that well maintained. Just here and there, but it looks like older maintenance to the trail. I haven't been here in a long time, so all right, we're almost at the pond. Now this here is a log that fell a long time ago on Malm's Pond, and people used to come here. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Malm's Pond, untouched. Not one skate on this pond right now. Anyways, I was saying, people used to sit on this log and put on their skates and have their lunch. I remember as a kid, whoop, I went in a little hole there. I remember as a kid we used to have hot chocolate in the thermos, and I think we even came here as a class at some point in time. Anyways, here's Malm's Pond. Now I'm just gonna put my foot down on the ice and see just how solid it is. And yeah, it seems pretty solid. Okay, I'm just gonna go for a very careful walk because I don't fully trust the ice, but things have been freezing up pretty solid here the past few days, and so far, oop, maybe not. I hear it cracking there, so maybe not. It is starting to defrost, so I won't go too far. Now I should say, the name Malm's Pond dates back to the early Finnish settlement here on Malcolm Island. And in Finnish, Malm's Pond would be Malmin Lempi, which means Malm's Pond. Now I don't have any records of it written down anywhere that I've found with that Finnish word coming up, but it does date to that time period. So in Finnish, you would say Malmin Lempi for Malm's Pond. I just wanted to get a shot for posterity of me at Malm's Pond since I don't come here very often. It's kind of nice to see it in the when it's frozen over. Brings back some memories from when I was a kid. There was a forest fire in this area sometime in the 1930s. So you're going to see quite a few burnt trees here and there. Here's a remnant of the original first logging on the island here. You could see that's a springboard hole. And over here we have a trail. And I'm assuming this one hooks up to what is called the Matoya Heritage Trail, which is another trail we'll explore in a future video. Today though, I want to keep exploring Malm's Pond, but I might veer off here because I want to show you some of the first logging on the island too. So I'm going to be taking a side venture off of the trail at some point. So unfortunately, this area is under threat of logging, and I'm hoping through making this video I will make you all aware of what we are about to lose if this area does get logged. So I haven't come across where the boundary is ribboned off, so they might not have ribboned it off yet. But when this area is logged, not only will we lose this beautiful forest trail, we will also lose the heritage of Malm Island's first logging. And it's an area I would hope could be preserved. And it looks like someone marked off the trailhead here to Malm's Pond, so we're going to go take a walk down and check out Malm's Pond, which is down there. Not the trail I'm used to, so I'm going to go follow the one that I know of that we used to take when I was a kid to get down to Malm's Pond. All right, here we go. One of the neat things about exploring the forests on Malm Island is every once in a while you'll come across these old wrecked cars in the forest, and this is one that's along the Malm's Pond Trail here. I don't know the story behind this one, but some of them I might know the stories too, and I'll blurb about them in the future. Here's another old wrecked vehicle off of Malm's Pond Trail. And over here, you can see another one right here. And this is Malm's Pond right now. It's still a little bit icy, but we're into a bit of the defrost here now, so it's probably not safe to walk on. And I haven't seen anybody skating out here this year, unfortunately. It's probably not something people do these days, but this used to be a pretty happening place in the winter times when the ponds would freeze over, to come here and go skating at Malm's Pond. Malm's Pond, or Malmenlempi in Finnish, takes its name from the Malms family who homesteaded the area during the time of the Kalvin Kansa. Edla Malm was a midwife, and she is said to have aided in the births of over 200 babies to the early settlers on Malm Island. My dad, Davy, and Uncle Leslie are among those who were born in the Malm sauna, and I will show you where that was once located. Now I brought my boots hoping to go for a short stroll on the pond, but I don't know if I dare. I could hear it cracking under my feet already, so I'll just stick to the log here and we will go check out the rest of Malm's Pond Trail. All right, just taking one quick last look at Malm's Pond here before we carry on. And we'll head on down the Malm's Pond Trail. So a little bit more tidbit of history. The tradition of skating up at Malm's Pond goes back to the time of the early settlers, and they used to make homemade skates out of scythes and attach them to their boots and go skating up at the pond. And my ancestors were among those who would make these skates. Unfortunately, we don't have a pair that exists to this day, but it would be neat to find some, and they have been known to be found up at Malm's Pond. I'm just going to take a little detour off the Malm's Pond Trail here and show you some of Sointola's first logging, the remnants of it anyways. Now here you're going to start to see some old growth trees from the original logging on Malm Island, in the area surrounding Malm's Pond. And this stump and this tree line here on the ground, you could see is one of the original log trees on Malm Island. All these giant cedar logs that you see lying about here and there, just off of the Malm's Pond Trail, are remnants of the time period of the Kalvin Kansa when early logging happened here on Malm Island. The area that encompasses Toivola and Lottie, or Blooms's Bay, along Cleaver Road and the Malm's Pond Trail was called Toivola, which means the place of hope. And the hope came from the Finns were wanting to create a utopian society here on Malm Island by logging the timber and milling the wood here on the island and selling it. After the fall of the Kalevala, a lot of the logging that happened in Toivola stopped, and a lot of the timber that remains in the forest here right now, fallen on the ground, is from that time period. Personally, I think those trees that are fallen on the ground from the original logging are part of our heritage, and they should stay there on the ground. But to a modern day logger, they're just going to see the money there in those old growth trees that are easy to grab. So hopefully we could protect this area. Who knows? This is looking back up the hill of the Malm's Pond Trail, heading towards Villains Road. And it borders an old farm. And this is heading down towards Cleaver Road, where we're about to go. And this is where Malm's Pond Trail meets Cleaver Road. And that is Cleaver Road. Looking up here, Malm's Pond Trail. And this is the addition to Cleaver Road that was put in the early 1950s when Sointala first got electricity. Before then, Cleaver Road started here, and Malm's Pond Trail was the access road to Cleaver Road. And here we're looking at Blooms's Bay, or Toivola and Lottie in Finnish. And this beach here would have been known as Toivolan Ranta, which means the place of hope's shore. And looking over there, that far point over there, that is Second Point along Cleaver Road. In the Aika newsletter, which was the first Finnish language newsletter printed in Canada, right here in Sointala, it mentions Toivola a few times and mentions the logging that went on in the area. As quoted in the Aika, men were working in Toivola, a bay behind Kotonimi, where logs were being pulled. The loggers had their own cook there, and a couple tailors. They only came into Sointala for the weekends to bathe, and Saturday and Sunday to attend meetings. Some of the newcomer tailors had turned out to be tough guys. They were holding the wire as if it was woolen thread. We're looking back at Toivola and Lottie, and I want to read you another passage from the Aika newsletter written by A.B. Makla, who was an important figure in Sointala's early history. And I will talk more about him later on, but I want to read you this passage from the Aika written by A.B. Makla about Toivola. I visited Toivola. Over the water I could hear the happy songs from the tent village, as was always the case at workplaces in Sointala. It was high tide. The logging machine stood still, and the men were floating logs to the boom. The whole work was done singing. When one stopped, another one started. The songs varied in quality, as did the singers. The main thing seemed to be to keep up the noise. It also mentions in the Aika having to float the logs to Kotilahti, or Home Bay, which was the Finnish name for Rough Bay, where the Kalevala had a mill on the way to Rough Bay. We'll check out Rough Bay in a future video. Since I have to walk back into town along Cleaver Road to get back home, I thought I might as well show you the general area where Ed Malm's birthing sauna once stood. So we're about to approach it now. Somewhere up in behind this wooden fence along Cleaver Road, maybe about 20-30 feet in the field, was where Ed Malm's birthing sauna once stood. Hope you enjoyed my little walkthrough of the Malm's Pond Trail. I'm just walking along Cleaver Road, heading back into Toivola. I'm going to head home now, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao. Walking on slippery ground.